So, wow, this is this is incredible. I'm going to take this opportunity to say a few words before we begin tonight's meeting. And I apologize if I'm shaking a little bit. It's quite incredible to have 5 former mayors standing behind me. First of all, congratulations to our newly elected and re-elected council members. I want to thank you for your willingness to serve the city of Moorhead. I know that together we are going to achieve great things in the years to come. I also wanted to thank the Honor Guard, I don't know where they disappeared to, for their commitment in being here tonight. Their time is very, very valuable, being in law enforcement and not having enough officers to, help with our city, and a lot of them are doing overtime. So I just want to tell them that it means a great deal for me and for all of us for them to choose to participate and be here, and they actually offered to be here tonight. So thank you to our Honor Guard. I also wanted to thank my family, especially my husband, Ron. This is where somebody should clap or something. My son, McKinnon, and my daughter, Jordan, who is unable to be here tonight because she's at school at UND. Your support and encouragement are second to none, and I wouldn't be here without you. I also have other families here. And I also want to thank the incredible and the amazing city of Moorhead staff. The staff are the real reason that the city achieves great things. They are the ones who do all, and I mean all, of the heavy lifting, and in my opinion, cannot be thanked enough. So staff, from part-time workers to executive leadership staff to our city manager, you are the reason that myself and all citizens are #MoorheadProud. So thank you very much. And lastly, I wanted to thank the former mayors for attending tonight, and for Mayor Judd to swear me in, or Mayor, did I just say that? Judge Judd. I'm sure that it's the same level of excitement that you felt when you were swearing in Governor Walz. Same, right? Yeah. There has never been a time in history where there have been 6 mayors together, so tonight is very historic and very special, so thank you each for being here. Prior to tonight, I was able to speak to each of the former mayors to find out the highlights or milestones of their mayoral tenure. And I really felt that I really wanted to make those calls because I felt it was important to understand the history of where Moorhead has been in order to better navigate on where we are going. So Wayne Ingersoll, where are you, Wayne? Wayne was only 32 years old when he became mayor. And when I questioned him about his milestones during his tenure, his first reply was, "The Moorhead staff did great things in spite of me being mayor, not because I was mayor. They deserve any credit for any of the great things that happened." And that really was the theme for my entire conversation with former Mayor Ingersoll. All he did was talk about the great things and the great staff that the city of Moorhead had. And, he is not wrong. There are employees that have worked for Moorhead under all 6 mayors and under numerous different councils. And with all of these unique differences, things always got done because the staff always did that. After Mayor Ingersoll, our longest ever serving mayor was elected, Maury Lanning, right in the back. Maury was elected to the city council in 1979, served 3 two-year terms on council, and then was elected mayor in 1985. Credit for the city manager form of government can be given to Mayor Lanning, as well as the 4-year terms that we now serve. When asked about the impetus for changing the structure of the government, his reply was, "Moorhead needed a professional system of management. The council members are not elected to be managers, and many do not have that type of experience. They are elected to represent the citizens." Prior to this change, there were 25 plus staff members that reported to council. I cannot even imagine how many meetings that you guys had. And the other thing is that Mayor Lanning mentioned many, many milestones that occurred during his tenure of 22 years as mayor. 22 years. That's older than my daughter is. That's like more years. New wastewater treatment plant, a new hotel conference center, the buildup of reserves, and development of neighborhood block clubs that really helped to create that sense of community that we still feel to this day in Moorhead. And after serving the city of Moorhead for 28 years between council and being mayor, Maury went on to represent Moorhead in the State House for 10 years. So 38 years of service to the community. You know, I don't think a simple thank you is enough to you, former Mayor Lanning, so I'm gonna volunteer Mark Foxland to take you to supper at Rustica on Mark. Yep. I'm sure he'll be fine with that. So thank you, Mark. And speaking of Mark, former Mayor Mark Foxland, the second longest serving mayor in Moorhead, was next. And after experiencing numerous devastating floods, Mark said enough was enough, and he is the one that began the flood mitigation work in Moorhead in 2009, years before the Joint Powers Agreement for the Metro Flood Diversion was signed. Mark was also instrumental in getting more housing built in the city of Moorhead, apartments, condos, twin homes, and single-family homes. His close work with the HBA realtors and builders enabled hundreds of individuals the opportunity to make 56560 their home. Next came Moorhead's first female mayor, Mayor Delray Williams, and there you are. A few fun facts about Delray and I. Number one, we're both from Minot. And number two, both of our husbands are named Ron. Now, this is not a prerequisite for any other females who would like to become mayor, but I think it's a very weird and very interesting coincidence. Anyway, Moorhead's underpass projects started under Delray's tenure. Funding from the state for both the 2021st and 11th Street underpasses were secured to help increase public safety response times and reduce the endless time that we all spend waiting for trains. Delray actually told me a story of when the legislative group was in town to look at the 11th Street. You know, you can't even make this kind of thing up. They were standing there, and we all have experienced this living in Moorhead. The train started going towards Fargo, it stopped, then started going backwards, and then just when it was almost done, then another train came by. So, needless to say, that was perfect. It couldn't have happened at a better time. And the legislators were stunned as to what we endure every single day as citizens here in Moorhead with our trains. And needless to say, the bonding came through fairly quickly after that. Other highlights during Delray's tenure were the start of our Art and Culture Commission and beginning the Street Green Step program, of which Moorhead is now a Green Step 5 city, the highest level a community can achieve in that state of Minnesota. After Mayor Williams, Moorhead's first Black mayor was elected, Jonathan Judd. Albeit a short 2-year tenure, it was not without notable milestones or examples of exemplary leadership. Mayor, now Judge Judd, presided during the beginning of a worldwide epidemic and had to determine how to lead with no template for how to do so. He also was at the helm during a time when historic civil unrest occurred in our community. Former Mayor Judd, now Judge Judd, demonstrated what leadership looks like during uncertain times. He was absolutely the right person at the right time for Moorhead. Our community is grateful to each of you for the leadership you have provided and continue to provide, and I am astounded at all the milestones that were reached during each of your tenures. I'm honored and humbled that I, too, have been given the opportunity to be mayor of Moorhead. I stand on your collective shoulders and promise to you and the citizens of Moorhead, I will do my very best to continue this incredible legacy of leadership. Thank you. All right, well, with that, I don't think we've actually called the meeting officially to order. So it is January 9th, 2023, and I officially call the City of Moorhead meeting, City of Moorhead Council meeting to order. And I'm not going to ask for roll call quite yet until our And with that, Madam Clerk, could I get a roll call, please?
Ryan Nelson,
Present.
Matt Gilbertson,
Here.
Heather Niesemeyer,
Here.
Laura Caroon,
Here.
Deb White,
Here.
Larry Seljevold,
Here.
Steve Lindas,
Here.
Chuck Hendrickson,
Here.
and Mayor Shelley Carlson.
Here. And we have already said the Pledge of Allegiance, so we will go down to agenda amendments. And City Manager Molly, do we have any amendments?
Yes, Mayor, we have one amendment, and that is to remove item 8B from the consent agenda.
All right, 8B has been removed. And then moving on to number 4, recognitions and presentations. And I will turn this over to our Gate City Bank Better Life Child Care Incentive Program officials. Oh, there you guys are. Like, where are you at?
Hello, City Council members, Mayor Carlson, thank you for having us. My name is Sean Grunberg. Our group is here to present on the solutions to the child care crisis. The catalyst of this, the catalyst of this began when our bank president, Kevin Hansen, met with Mayor Carlson and was challenged to look at opportunities for solutions with the crazy crisis that everybody deals in childcare. And we were asked to explore some solutions and assist with that process. Thank you.
I'd like to proudly introduce our team members here from Gate City Bank who worked on this project, all from across the bank in different roles. Meet Des Kiefer, Christy Westman, Sean Grunberg, Jake Fiskett-John, who couldn't be with us today, and myself, Ashley Simmons. Our biggest tie to working on this project and this concern was being parents in the workforce and facing the same issues that we're living in our communities are facing each day. So we all had personal ties to this project. We came together to decide the best way that we could truly support this concern was supporting the ones who are providing the childcare in our communities firsthand.
The impact that we were trying to address is increasing availability of childcare in our communities, positively impacting the workforce, because if we have a stable childcare, they're more likely to come back to work. And childcare in the communities would have a stronger children in the communities would have a stronger foundational skills on social skills and early childhood.
Okay. And so with this, what the bank did was look to create a product that would help for financing with this, because financing is a need for these to expand. So we actually created 2 products. We did a line of credit to help with short-term financing needs, if it's adding payroll, if you're growing, to have that ability as you bring on new children that you'd have 90 days to get that built up before you'd have loan payments. And then also we created a term note that would allow you to expand or to buy equipment or materials or food or other needs where you could pay for it up front. And this also has a deferred payment component as well too, because a lot of it was geared towards growth. And with it, we know that cash flow is an important thing for the daycares as well too, and giving them time for that. This is open to any daycare in Western Minnesota and all of North Dakota. So it's available to all of them there. And with this, we also tied in an educational component. We worked with small business development centers to create an education program, especially if you're maybe a at-home daycare and you're adding staff, or if you're growing, to look at, okay, projecting for adding children. What does cash flow look like? How do you handle payroll? How does that work? So we built in educational components as well too with this program. So if we go to the next slide. So how it works is the program is directly through the bank. So they'd come to a bank, they'd meet with one of the bankers, and we'd process an application. We'd go through it, we'd see what they'd qualify for, what would be the best fit. And with that, we determine, would it be a line of credit? Would it be a term note? Would it be both? How can we put this together? After that, if everything does qualify for the program, they would then work with the Small Business Development Center and go through and do the educational component. And once that's completed, then they would do the funding on it. If it's for expansion, the bank would work with them to make sure that things are paid directly, and especially if it was a building expansion, to get lien waivers and help them through that process there. And with it, we've got bankers that we assigned specifically to this that would also work with the Small Business Development Center. So we've got Shane Brewer, Amber Solom, back in the corner, and then Alex Lacey. So Shane and Amber are in our Moorhead locations, and Alex is in Fargo. So we've got dedicated people too with this program because there is some things that are maybe outside your normal loan. So we have wanted individuals that are specialized in it. And then with each of the small business development centers, there's one in Moorhead and there's one in Fargo. They're also on board with this. We've gone through and it'll be going out to the rest of the state of North Dakota to theirs as well too. So this program, as of now, we've done a couple test ones and already run them through. So it's open to anyone right now. So any daycare provider, we've got this available for it. So, any questions?
There we go. Any questions or comments from council? All right. I don't
Great.
see any. So thank you guys so much. I know, I think it was about 18 months or maybe even a little bit longer that I met with Kevin Hansen and kind of this idea developed. And it's incredible to me how many people are talking about how it is a crisis and it's an economic development issue, really just over the last 18 months. So thank you for being willing to create something from scratch, which I know that's what you guys did, and you spent a lot of time doing it. And I know that you're going to help so many child care facilities and in-home daycares to really help, create an assistance program kind of for this crisis. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, moving on to the consent agenda, do I have a motion to approve of the consent agenda?
So moved, Diesmeyer.
Second, Lindos.
Right, and I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. Moving on to the approval of the December 12th, 2022 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved, Karoon.
White seconds.
Okay, I have Karoon with a motion, White with a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. All right, moving on to citizens addressing the council. We do have a few people that would like to address the council at this time. The first one I have is Janine Hansen. Janine, if you would like to approach the podium, please state your name and your address for the record. And Janine, I know that you know how this works, but for those in the audience who have not been present during this portion of the agenda, how it works is each person who comes up to the podium gets 3 minutes to speak. The light will be green while you're able to speak. It will turn red when your 3 minutes are done, and then you will need to take your seat. This is not an opportunity for a question and answer or a conversation being back and forth between the person at the podium and the council. It's just your time to have 3 minutes to provide information to the council, and then we'll take that information. So with that, Janine, go ahead.
Janine Hansen, Ward 3. I'm going to read a letter that we've gathered over 150 signatures for, and I will give this to the city clerk when I'm finished. So this is addressed to Mayor Carlson and council members. We, the undersigned residents of Moorhead and surrounding communities, are very much grieved by the presentation of an award at the City Council meeting on December 12th, 2022, by the Moorhead Human Rights Commission to the director of the Red River Women's Clinic, accepted by another on her behalf. This is an organization responsible for the shedding of innocent blood and should not be celebrated. Our Declaration of Independence states that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And governments are instituted to secure these rights, not award the opposite. Babies are not the only victims of abortion, but so are their mothers. They're scarred for years and often their whole lives, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and oftentimes physically as well. According to Lifeway Research and Heartbeat International, 1 in 10 women who undergo an abortion experience immediate complications after the abortion, 20% of which are life-threatening. Chemical abortions are on the rise. There has been a 500% increase in emergency room visits due to chemical abortions. Each year, at least 50,000 women experience serious emotional and mental health issues. There are increased rates of substance abuse and suicide among women who have experienced an abortion, just to name a few of the complications among post-abortive women. Therefore, we are voicing our opposition to this award and being a voice for those who cannot speak for themselves, the unborn and the post-abortive women who are too traumatized to speak for themselves. And there are a number of people here, I believe, if you don't mind standing, who either signed or are here because of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Justine. The next individual who would like to speak is Shelley Bill. Shelley, if you could please come to the podium and state your name and your address for the record.
Shelley Bill, and I'm with Ward 1. When the Human Rights Award was given to Tammy Kronmaker last month, excuse me, got to put the glasses on here. The committee member who announced it sugarcoated it and changed the form from abortion access to promoting health care access for women. Abortion is not health care. Health care, and I quote, the various services for the prevention or treatment of illness and injury, end of quote. I will provide further information as I know many of you might not know this. Per the North Dakota statistics last year, the local abortion mill killed 20 to 25 kids every Wednesday. A child's heartbeat can be detected as early as 18 days from conception. The Moorhead abortion mill offers 2 ways to kill your child. During an abortion, the child is either burned to death by chemicals or starved of nutrients by taking 2 pills, or torn apart surgically, limb by limb, when the child is sucked out of the mother's womb. That is not protecting human rights. I share this detail so that the City Council and the committee members who voted for and applauded would be aware of what you were endorsing. I wish each of you could come down to the abortion mill and watch some of the mothers walking out in tears. It is very heartbreaking. I know women personally that have had abortions who have struggled with relationships, depression, anxiety, PTSD, drugs and alcohol addictions, and suicidal thoughts. Abortions do not help us women, nor do they help the voiceless ones in the womb. In every abortion, a woman walks in and someone dies. The babies have no form of self-defense. The only reason for an abortion facility to exist is to kill children and to make money, and that's what they're doing. Just because something is legal across parts of our country does not mean it is good or correct. Please remember that our country, at one point in time, endorsed another unthinkable by making it lawful to have slavery. That too was wrong. Moorhead needs to be a city that protects its children, not endorses killing them. I request that the City Council remove the Human Rights Award given to Tammy Kronmaker.
Thank you. Moving on to number 8B, and I will turn this over to City Manager Molly.
Yes, Mayor, this is related to the resolution to approve mayoral appointments of council members to committees, boards, and commissions. Just a couple small adjustments in the resolution. One is alternates are noted in the resolution now. Those are alternates for the Park Board, Planning Commission, and Clay County Planning Commission, as well as the inclusion of Council Member Steve Lindas on the Clay County Planning Commission.
All right, and with that adjustment, I would be seeking a motion to approve the appointments with the adjustments.
So moved, Niesmeyer.
Lindas will second.
I'm going to give the motion to Councilmember Lindas and the second to Councilmember Niesmeyer. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. Right. See where we're at here.
Vote on 8A. That was 8B.
Oh. Okay. All right, then with 8A, I would be looking for a motion to approve the appointment of Mayor Pro Tem, and I think we just already did the mayoral appointments to committees, boards, and commissions, so it would just be for Mayor Pro Tem.
So
Okay.
moved, Deb White.
Second.
So I have a motion from Councilmember White and a second by Councilmember Caroon to approve the appointment of the Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. And then I believe that we are at 13E.
Point of order, Mayor Carlson, I think we have
Yes.
6A we need to do.
6A. The meeting minutes?
Did we approve them?
We did. Do
Oh, okay.
you want to approve them again?
No, that's fine. I
All right.
You didn't get to make that motion, that's right.
So with 13E, and I will turn this over to Assistant City Manager Mike Reitz to talk about the Resource Recovery Center agreement with Clay County.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. This item on the agenda is the, I guess, the culmination of many years of hard work at developing a new resource recovery center, commonly known as transfer station. And this is a project we've been working on with Clay County for a number of years. The item on the agenda tonight is approval of the cooperative service agreement with Clay County for our joint operation of that facility. The effective date of the agreement will be February 6th, and I believe that's either the date they intend to start operating or it will be shortly after that. The term of the agreement is a 3-year agreement. We've had comments and changes recommended from both our city attorney and an attorney with the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust, our insurer. Essentially what this does is it organizes the operation of the facility. Essentially the way it breaks down is the city will be handling the operation of the transfer operations, and the county will operate the scale, the public drop-off area, the hazardous waste facility, and the transfer hauling.
Right. Any questions or comments from council members? Councilmember Hendrickson.
Not really a question, but it's a great project. I'm just glad I've been working on this for 8 years, that long, and it's just good. It's coming to the foreground, and we're going to have an opening, and it's gonna be great. It'll be safer for the public. It'll be good for the county, and it's good for the city of Moorhead. So I just wanted to mention that. Thanks.
Right, any other questions or comments from council?
Well, I move for approval.
Second, Niesmeyer.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Henriksen and a second from Councilmember Niesemeyer. Any further discussion or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor to approve the Resource Recovery Center agreement with Clay County signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the resolution carries. Thank you very much, Assistant City Manager Reitz. And I believe we are down to mayor and council reports. So council members who have reports to make, Councilmember Niesemeyer.
Absolutely. I am terribly excited that the Resource Recovery Center is about to open. The ribbon cutting ceremony is set for January 31st. Mark your calendars, everybody. I know that's the first place you want to go and watch a ribbon being cut. But it is just, if you're on the road to Aldi, just keep going north. It's really great. It's a wonderful opportunity to see that sort of grouping as Assistant Manager Reitz just said, between the county and the city, and we're having a party to cut some ribbons and see some flair of what has taken years to come up. So stop out, see what it's all about, get a tour, and then start taking advantage of what years have taken to really make happen. Also, the Clay County Intergovernmental Committee has put together another retreat in January. It's an annual shindig that is happening January 20th this year. We've got some great local speakers as well as some others coming to visit. And coming up in 2024, the city of Moorhead will be hosting the retreat, which is something really great to look forward to. So it's always a wonderful opportunity to know that it's not just the city of Moorhead sort of interacting in a bubble. We actually collaborate with not just Clay County, but lots of other entities within Clay County itself. And we get together and we learn from each other and celebrate each other's successes. So that's what we'll be doing on Friday, January 20th.
Thank you, Councilmember Niesemeyer. Any other council members who have reports? Councilmember Hendrickson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I had the privilege of attending the Prairie St. John's grand opening on January 4th. And if you don't know where they built the hospital, it's about 30 yards to the east of the current hospital. And I'm not sure what they're going to do with that older building. But great thing. Especially during the pandemic, we've had a lot of mental health issues, and this is just a great step to address those issues with our teenagers and everybody in the Fargo-Moorhead area, but especially with our teenagers. And believe me, I live with one, so not that he has mental health or anything, but issues. But it's a good thing, and look, I think it's open right now, so that's all I have.
All right, Councilmember Lindas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I am a part of the West Central Initiative's Climate Action Planning Team, along with the Moorhead City Sustainability Coordinator, Crystal. The West Central Initiative is a consortium of 9 counties and the White Earth Nation. And the Climate Action Planning Committee is basically tasked to develop resources and materials to help the counties, but also smaller municipalities that don't have the resources that Moorhead has to reach, a level 5, Green Step City status and develop their own climate action plans and resiliency efforts. And so this idea is this team we just had an organizational meeting a couple weeks ago, and it is going to have a series of 5 meetings and hopefully develop some resource tools that communities can use. We're going to be sharing what we do, but like with any kind of good group, you also learn and can grab good ideas from other cities and what they're doing. And so I'm looking forward to, along with Crystal, learning more about this and participating.
Thank you. Any other council members? All right, seeing none, I have a very, very short mayor report. Between our last council meeting and today, I attended 3 DARE graduations. It was really fun to see all of the students, all of the 5th graders in the city of Moorhead, and except for the ones that go to Park Christian and St. Joe's, but the majority of the fifth graders in the city of Moorhead and graduating from DARE, it was really a fun day. And that is the only report that I have. So I will turn it over to you, City Manager Molly.
Thank you, Mayor. Boy, by way of looping back to some direction that the council provided the city manager and staff on December 13th, that was the last city council meeting. The city manager and staff were directed to update a draft ordinance permitting chickens and certain ducks in the city of Moorhead. The city council also asked that a first reading of that ordinance be placed on an agenda in January. As of now, that is scheduled to occur on January 23rd. And I just want you to know that staff and departments in community development, police, and animal control have researched the matter and gathered all sorts of information. So that's moving right along. Just want to let you know. I know folks are receiving emails and calls, and there's a lot of buzz on that.
May I interject really quickly? I want to appreciate all of the work that's been done on that ordinance, City Manager Molly. If we could, ahead of the City Council meeting on the 23rd, in fact, I'm hearing that the draft ordinance is done. If we could post that on the City of Moorhead website, so Moorhead citizens could read the draft ordinance and then reach out to us as city council members and do the paperwork to speak at the January 23rd city council meeting, should they wish to speak. I think that would be really outstanding, an opportunity. I know some citizens know how to find us, but I think being able to read that draft ordinance may give them some idea of where that research and work has gone, and give some great conversations for them to have with us as city council members.
Councilmember Caroon.
Thank you, Mayor. I would really like to take that a step further and give the council some time to actually discuss this ordinance in a workshop, since we have not had an opportunity to do that. So I don't know if now would be the time to do that, but I would like to make a motion that we delay the reading of the chicken and duck ordinance until we've had an opportunity to discuss in a council workshop.
Okay, is that a motion? Or
Yes.
Okay, is there a second to delay the reading of the ordinance?
Clarification, Council Member Caroon, do we have an idea of when that workshop would occur? I'm looking at Dan because I know some of our workshops are full. Would that be something that could happen? Or when could it happen, I guess is the question.
I would say, if we're going to workshop this, we'd want to send something out so that it happens sooner. I mean, if we want to find time, we have some strategic planning workshops coming up. That's a bigger process. So I think this would be a special meeting that we'd try to structure here in February, March. We could shoot for February.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, then the motion carries, and I guess it was to delay the ordinance and workshop it at a later date.
There will be sorry.
Go ahead, City Manager Molly.
Okay, we'll send an email tomorrow about getting that scheduled.
All right, thank you. We do, Councilmember Niesemeyer.
So to my request, would the ordinance wait then to be posted until after the workshop? Just for clarification for those who are watching online, if they...
I would actually like to clarify that as far as process, that would be out of the ordinary as far as the standard of practice for how we proceed with ordinances. I think the intent behind the first reading is posting it, and that's why there's time between a first reading and a second reading. The first reading is an opportunity for citizens to see it and then come and make statements during a council meeting. We take that information, and they can also have the opportunity to email council and mayor, and then it was at the second reading before then it would pass. So I believe that is the intent behind the first and the second reading, and please correct me if I'm wrong, City Manager Mully, or perhaps City Attorney.
Yes, yeah, that is the purpose. You know, and typically issues like this go through a committee sort of function where there's opportunities to vet and discuss them. This one, I think, you know, kind of came directly to the council. There wasn't a committee that you know, that reviewed and, you know, recommended approval. I guess other than, say, the Clay County Food Partners, the Cass Clay County Food Partners. So that would be a group to check in with if, you know, for more information. Perhaps that group could be part of a workshop. I mean, yeah, we'll have to put that together. As far as, I will say, posting a draft ordinance prior to a committee meeting or prior to a council meeting, that is not common. What I heard was that we wanted to consider that to get the information out to people so that they had an opportunity to kind of review and see and comment ahead of the January 23rd first reading. Is that clear as mud?
Clear as mud. Yes. Yes. So, all right. We do not have an executive session tonight, and no new business.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
May I keep going? Yeah, that was. So I wanted to, back to the city manager's update here, encourage all to participate in Frostival on our website. You'll see all sorts of links and information. It starts this month, outdoor activations and such this winter. You know, I just want to mention as we step into 2023, I just, you know, want to mention just to you and to everybody in Moorhead how grateful just I am personally to be serving you in this great city. You know, as we look back at the past year, we faced opportunities that tested our resilience and perseverance. From these shared experiences, I believe something incredible is growing. And that's our impulse and desire to care for one another. Caring is a natural instinct in this city and for its residents, and our caring is making us stronger. I've seen that over the last few years in my experience here. We see it in a neighbor that helps shovel snow, and when someone is at a loss and we ask, "Can I help?" It also means caring for ourselves and our own well-being. So as we're into the thick of this winter, I just wanted to stop for a moment and say I hope we're all giving a little time to look out for each other and ourselves, and that together we're truly making Moorhead greater than the sum of its parts, and we're making this a very special place to grow. And I look forward to working with you as we move Moorhead forward in 2023, and wishing everyone a happy and healthy year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We don't have an executive session tonight, and I don't believe we have any new business. So with that, it is 6:24, and we will adjourn the city council meeting. So good night, Moorhead.